Oh wow, you guys really enjoyed that first Q&A video, huh? Well, sorry this one took so long, guys. These were some tough questions for me, to be perfectly honest. For example, if you were locked/handcuffed in your Admiral bedroom with 2 ship girls for one night, which girls and why? Noshiro and Agano. Because if we're strictly talking about which 2 would be the easiest to cope with, I thought about it pretty hard. No, really, it took me a few days to come up with this choice, and I think these 2 would probably be the best company. But since you specifically mentioned a bedroom, well, I think I've discovered which 2 might be the easiest and safest to coax and be the least guilty or upset about it after having some delightful sexy time. Seriously, given Agano's general childish mindset, and if it's actually true that Agano is stroking Yoshiro's thighs, just imagine how quickly she'd be like,
"Do you know how soft Noshiro's skin is down there? Here, let me show you, Teitoku, and you have to try it too. You'll understand."
Wink! Wink!
which Kanmusu would you choke to death, Kasumi?
Wasn't angry until you assumed I was, bitch.
Hey Zach, the last time you answered the most favorite DD and least favorite DD, so now how about CL? Even in my upcoming 3rd addendum, you might be able to notice that I don't really fancy light cruisers very much. At best, I like particular Kanmusu in their respective classes, rather than a whole class altogether. Except for the Agano class. They are, by far, my favorite light cruiser class, simply because I really like all of them. Noshiro the most, one of the only anime-esque characters I'll ever be okay with fashioning the twin braid look, and she's absolutely marriage material on top of that. But let's be fair now. Least favorite light cruiser class. Gotta be Nagara class, because Abukuma's the only one who matters. Everything else about them is completely unexciting outside of her and the Kinubos! Hello, Zach. What is your favorite Kaini ship in Kantai Collection? And what ship is/are want to Kaini? Honestly, I favor a lot of the Kainis that have been thrown our way over the years, so picking an overall favorite is pretty hard for me. But for you, I will do my best to make a choice. And that choice will be Yudachi's. And joined at the hip would be Shigure's. Might as well make them a tie, really. They're both classic examples of making somewhat drab designs suddenly have new life breathed into them with just a few small changes. And it's all thanks to extra ornaments and dog ears. On paper, that shouldn't have worked, but oh boy, did it work. And now, both of these Kainis have been, for years, so much more popular than their first forms that those originals might as well not even exist. They're basically invisible in-game until the Kaini arrives. That, and even stat-wise, something I don't like to bring up a lot, but is completely relevant here, both of them still hold up as among the best destroyers you can possibly possess. Yudachi basically becomes a swifter heavy cruiser, and Shigure's luck is paramount for taking out nasty bosses. Might be a boring choice to some, but I love these 2 to death, and I made my love for the Shirasuyu class as a whole apparent in my first Q&A video, so I guess you should have seen this coming. Samidare, one day you will get what you deserve, right alongside the other starters. I promise. Hey there, Zach. Thought I'll drop a couple questions myself. 1. When can we expect the next wedding, and is it going to be Graf-sama? 2. Your thoughts on 6-4 and ISO Island Shan's reappearance. 3. Which abyssal ship from event maps would you want to see on regular maps next? XO. Your OTP, AQ1, winky face. Well, hello there, my Polish love. I'll tell you first that Graf is probably not gonna get married as soon as you might think. Akizuki's gonna be first. And then maybe Maya-sama because she's really high up there too, I don't know. But I can tell you that I'd certainly marry Rito-chan before any of them if the game would just let me. Not only is this new form even better looking than her last, as if that was even possible, but it's so much hotter. Seriously, she's gotta be baking in all that heavy black. Joking aside though, yeah, I thought I'd turn lolicon for her before, but now this little succubus can take my heart and soul anytime she wants, and I wouldn't feel any worse for it. Look, she's even got a placeholder for it now imprinted at her own chest. If she wants it that bad, she can have it. Now, if only we could get a call back to Midway-sama. Zach, who do you think is the most memorable Kansmusu in all of Kantai Collection? Heck, if you want, make this question into a top 6 video. Well, I thought about that for a second, but realized that it's actually much easier to come up with who is among the most memorable characters in Kantai Collection than the least memorable. In fact, that's why I made that list of who I thought were the least memorable characters in the first place, because the community had never even remotely come up with any kind of definitive answer on that subject beforehand, so it made for a perfect idea to slave myself over for a couple months. Fans would be very curious to see who I declared as basically the farthest from popular characters like Kongou or Shimakaze, and given the numbers and comments, I can see that it worked just as well as I'd reasonably hoped. Oh, and yeah, without a doubt, the most memorable character is Shimakaze. Not just because she's still among the most popular within the fandom, but because she's pretty much sustained herself as one of the perfect icons for everything horny otaku crave, which is pretty much the reason she's so popular in the first place. Never underestimate the power of libidos. Just look at Kashima's outrageous burst in popularity, for example, or Prince Eugen's before hers. But of course, neither of those examples have sustained themselves in the minds of not only just us fans, but also outsiders to Konkole quite like Shimakaze has. So hi again. My question is, if there's a story why you seem to loathe Kongou. Sure, she's annoying, and thirsty, but hey, some of us find it endearing, like me. That aside, keep up the amazing work, and spread Konkole farther. We love you, man. Firstly, thank you so much for your compliments and encouragement, but oh, please. I don't loathe Kongou. I like to bully Kongou, or I mean, tease Kongou. Yes. She's so goofy and stereotypically girly in the weirdest ways, like how she's all about timing and mood setting, and she's clearly the jealous type, all while she's always remarkably cartoonish with her funny mix of English and Japanese, along with those almost alien inflections and accents she puts on words. And let's not forget,
tea time wa daiji ni shinaito ne.
She wants so much, but she's just too strange. Granted, she's unique at least, she's actually a legitimately layered character, and her strangeness is bizarrely endearing. I'll give her that. I don't want to see her physically hurt, you see. I'd seriously feel horrible if she was. She's totally my second favorite Kongou behind Haruna, and that second place, in this case, is a bit closer than you might think. But when she has such high standards, it becomes too fun to pick on her for it, along with everything else. Seriously, I'd give her some burning good love, but she's such an eccentric little quailhead. I'm so conflicted. But maybe that's it. We found the answer, people. I make fun of her because I'm so psychologically torn inside and nobody understands. I'm so alone. I'm so cold. Hi, Zach. What's your top 3 most favorite events? And what's your top 3 most hated events? Good question. Honestly, it's easier to rank the worst events than the better ones, but since I want to answer your question, I'd say my 3 favorite events so far would have to be the Christmas 2013 event because the Fall 2015 event, since I can't deny that it actually implemented a new boss mechanic pretty well and made it fairly balanced in its level of challenge. And, of course, the Fall 2014 event because it was a springboard event for me, both as the first event I ever fully completed, and the event that launched me a fanbase. Thanks, guys. And so, as I mentioned earlier, it's far easier to rank the worst. The Summer 2015 event, the Fall 2013 event, and, of course, the Summer 2014 event. All 3 were the biggest time-wasting tediums it's likely any Admiral has had to endure in this game up to this point. The biggest offender being the Fall 2013 event, with a boss health regeneration mechanic that seemed hell-bent on crushing your social life if you wanted to succeed. But at least that one had an understanding of a difficulty incline, even if it greater resembled what you'd see on an exponential function than a straight line. The Summer 2014 event was just a mess. I made a whole video before to explain my feelings on that one. And the Summer 2015 event. only giving us excruciatingly vague hints as to how the new armor reduction mechanic worked until after the event, where they revealed everything, including some information we didn't even know we could exploit, making E4 the middle of the event literally the worst map in the game's history, Mizuho only being obtainable by getting an S on one of the hardest bosses in the event, and then having the end boss single-handedly be a trolly as hell, near-indestructible, battleship-busting plane vaporizer. I would honestly say the other two events I mentioned are arguably worse, but this one still made every attempt to gray my hair. Hey Zach, I'm new. What is some ways I can prepare for events?
Oh, dear child. The following numbers will help guide you on your journey. 2, 4, 5, 6, 10, 21, 37, and 38. And for your nightly slumbers, 24. These are the numbers that will help lead you on the path to victory. Use them well, pure one. And don't forget to oral cruise.
And that's all for now. I'll admit, that wasn't every single question asked. No, there was certainly a lot more than this, but some of them were basically the same as the questions I picked, others I didn't really have much of an answer for, and there were even a few that weren't even questions, just statements. However, there will be a next time, and so I might come back to a few of those older questions, but for now, let's move forward. Feel free to send your questions to my Ask.fm account listed here, and if you would like to donate to my PayPal email here, or my Patreon account here, well, you know what to do. But most of all, please make sure to like, subscribe, even comment if you'd like, and hopefully I can get that new addendum out soon.